children. So D block elements. So yesterday I have completed D block elements completely, and I told you know the properties I am going to tabulate in a form of a tabulation, and again we will revise the properties because it's very important not only for your NCERT examination, and it is very much important for your NEET and IIT exams also. So I am going to tabulate now all the properties. What are all the properties that we have studied yesterday and day before yesterday classes? The first property is magnetic property, color formation, catalytic property, complex formation, interstitial compound formation. Next to the interstitial compound formation, we have alloy formation. The first one, oxidation, variable oxidation state. These are the various properties of D block elements, and we have to study about all these properties. So how I am going to frame a table? You see, first we have to study about the property. Then next to that, the reasons for the property. Then next to the reasons, for the reasons we have to give the explanation. For the reasons we have to give order. For the reasons we have to give the explanation. Okay, reasons. Following the reasons. So what is the chapter? D block elements. Property, reasons, then explanation with example. We have to study like this. Okay, now we will see. The first property. We will see the first property. What is the first property I have given? Oxidation state. Variable oxidation state. So we have variable oxidation state. So under the variable oxidation state, the reasons for variable oxidation state, I told you, variable oxidation state from +2 to +8 we have oxidation states, isn't it? So explanation with example. Reasons. What is the first reason? First reason for variable oxidation state is the electronic configuration. Electronic configuration plays a significant role, because electronic configuration, what is electronic configuration? N-1, D, 1 to 10, Ns, 2, 1 to 2, isn't it? 1 to 2. So this is what the general electronic configuration. So here this s orbital we are calling it as the outermost shell, or otherwise the valence shell, and here N-1 D is called as the penultimate shell. Isn't it? So example, we take scandium. What is the atomic number of scandium? Atomic number of scandium is 21. Electronic configuration, R1 configuration. So then what happens now? It undergoes R1 configuration, then 3d, then 4s. 4s with 2 electrons. Here it becomes 3 electrons. 1 electron. Now what's the electronic configuration? Sc3 plus. So then what is happening here? Sc3 plus now R1 configuration, then it becomes 3d 0 and 4s also 0, because 2 and this 1 electron will leave. Upper the oxidation state, that is 3 plus, it depends on the number of electrons present on d and s orbital. So upper the oxidation state, upper see the electronic configuration I told you, d section, s section, both are taking part. Upper therefore the oxidation state depends on depends on both d and s subshell. This is the main reason why the d block elements exhibits variable oxidation state. Similarly, here this manganese will be having oxidation state from +3 to +7, and the maximum oxidation state is osmium. Osmium is a d block element, will be having the maximum oxidation state, that is +8. If for example they are going to ask you why the d block element exhibits variable oxidation state. Still d block element exhibits variable oxidation state. Justify the statement. So what is the answer is the d block element exhibits variable oxidation state because of its electronic arrangement, electronic configuration, n-1, d1 to 10 and n-1 to 2. Here, in order to exhibit the loss of electrons, in order to remove the electrons will be getting donated from s orbital from the valence shell, as well as the electron is also being removed from the penultimate shell in order to attain its oxidation state. Appo electron enga irundha remove from the valence shell also the electron is getting removed, from valence shell also it is getting removed, and similarly from the penultimate shell. This is the characteristic feature of only the d block elements. This you have to keep it in mind, that is variable oxidation state. Okay, the first point. Now coming to the second one, what is the second property we have? The second property is, the second one is magnetic property. Magnetic property. So d block elements possess the magnetic property. What are the two magnetic properties? The first magnetic property is paramagnetic property. The other one is called as the diamagnetic property. So first we will see the paramagnetic property. What is the paramagnetic property? Paramagnetic property, the element which possess the paramagnetic characteristics or placed under the influence of a magnetic field or else an electrical field, then the electrons undergoes attraction. The electrons will be undergoing attraction during its rotation and during its change of position. Can you understand what I am telling? So the paramagnetic substances அப்படின்னு சொன்னா என்ன சொல்றோம்? paramagnetic substances ல இருக்கக்கூடிய electrons undergoes attraction. It undergoes what? It undergoes attraction under the influence of magnetic field. Okay, so this attraction, first point, second point, this attraction due to rotation of electrons. That means what? The electrons possess the spin magnetic. That is due to what? The rotation is exhibited by the electrons as spin. So, now under the influence of the magnetic field, I am subjecting the electrons to the magnetic field. Immediately the electrons are getting attracted. And attract by means of the rotation. In the rotation, magnetic field magnetic field the electron is undergoing spin magnetic rotation. So spin magnetic momentum or moment, Bohr magnetron, and there is only quenchable or negligible amount of orbital angular momentum. This also I told you, angular momentum. This is less. So as a result, the electrons are undergoing rotation. The electrons are undergoing what? The electrons are undergoing rotation. Can you understand? So, in the electrons rotate main reason is due to the presence of unpaired electrons. After saying unpaired electron, that means what? Paramagnetic substances are those which has an unpaired electrons, because when the electrons are subjected to the magnetic field, it exhibits its attraction. That shows that it has got the magnetic moment. The magnetic moment spin angular moment can be confirmed. So this is for the paramagnetic substance. Now see, the paramagnetic substance, I told you, the paramagnetic substance, when we go along the series, the paramagnetic character goes on decreases. Which is getting decreased? The paramagnetic character goes on decreases. Paramagnetic character goes on decreases. So it starts from scandium, isn't it? From scandium. So it starts from scandium and then titanium, then vanadium till the zinc. What is the atomic number of zinc? It is 30. What is its electronic configuration? Nearest electronic configuration. So 3d becomes 10, then 4s becomes 2. And here in case of scandium, so R1 configuration, so that is 3d then 1 and 4s then 2. So unpaired electrons is present. Can you understand? And similarly titanium, what is that? 3d 2 and 4 is left 2. That means what? 2 electrons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for 1, 2 electrons. 2 unpaired electrons are present. Here only only 1 unpaired electron is present. Isn't it? Only 1 unpaired electron is present. So India zinc is 10. So 10 means what? Everything is paired. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now it is unpaired. Paired electrons. 10 electrons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So everything is paired. So it has got what? A paired electron. So it possesses the paired characters. Paired electrons are present here. So when electrons are getting paired, then under the influence of an electrical field, we can notice only the repulsion. We can notice only what? We can notice only the repulsion. There will not be any attraction. So when there is a repulsion, such a type of substances possess diamagnetic character. So possess what? Diamagnetic. It possesses diamagnetic character, or it has the diamagnetic nature. Can you understand? So paramagnetic unpaired electrons. When the paired electrons are present, then that shows what? It is a diamagnetic substances. So example zinc. Zinc we are calling it as the paramagnetic substances. So the paramagnetic substances, the character goes on decreases when we move from left to right of the series, left to right of the periodic table. Isn't it? So zinc exhibits the repulsion, that is diamagnetic character. Diamagnetic character, and this is what? Paramagnetic character. And for the paramagnetic character, in order to calculate the Bohr magnetron, that is mu, Bohr magnetron, there is a formula, that is root of n into n plus 2. What is this n? N represents the number of unpaired electrons. N represents what? N will be representing the number of electrons. So every number of electrons, so when we calculate, then we will be finding out what? Bohr magnetron. Can you understand? So what is the first property? Variable oxidation state. Second one is what? The magnetic property. Variable oxidation state, d block elements possess variable oxidation state. The oxidation state differs from +2 to +8 oxidation state. Even a metal will possess what? D block element will possess from +2 இருந்து +8 வரைக்கும் இருக்கக்கூடிய எல்லா oxidation numbers may be previous class I written for manganese, isn't it? And +7 வரைக்கும் இருக்கும் manganese, and +8 வரைக்கும் இருக்கக்கூடிய osmium. 4 decades ல இருக்கும். So up to 8. So the காரணம் என்ன? Because of the presence of both valence shell as well as a penultimate shell. The electrons are being lost from from both the valence shell as well as from the penultimate shell. So both the shells plays a predominant role in the removal of the electrons in order to attain its stable configuration, stability. It keeps away the electrons. Clear? So the electrons are getting lost from both the valence shell as well as from the penultimate shell. Then magnetic property, there are two magnetic characters. One is paramagnetic substance, the other one is called as the diamagnetic substance. What is paramagnetic substance? நீயே சொந்தமா எழுத வேண்டியதான். If you are going to write paramagnetic substance நான் ஒரு metal எடுக்கிறேன். I am subjecting the metal to the electrical field or towards the magnetic field. Then when this being subjected, automatically the electrons will start to attract with one another. When the electrons is undergoing the attraction, that shows that the electron possesses spin quantum, spin energy or magnetic moment we are telling, and there is no, for the 3D series மட்டும் நம்ம orbital ரொம்ப detailed topic that we need not go. 3D series ல மட்டும் we cannot find out the orbital angular momentum மட்டும் கண்டுபிடிக்கவே முடியாது. With that the electron is undergoing rotation. It undergoes what? A constant rotation due to the attraction. இத மாதிரியான attraction, இத மாதிரியான rotation is possible only when the electrons tends to be unpaired. Then it is not being in a pair. Suppose when it is being paired, such type of metals, when it is subjected to the magnetic field or the electrical field, obviously we will see the repulsive forces, repulsion. அப்ப ப்ராப்பரான மேக்னெட்டிக் மொமெண்ட் நம்மளால கண்டுபிடிக்கவே முடியாது. ஆங்குலர் ஆர்பிட்டால் ஆங்குலர் மொமெண்டமும் நம்மளால ஃபைண்ட் அவுட் பண்ண முடியாது. ஸ்பின் ஆர்பிட்டால் மொமெண்டமையும் நம்மளால மேக்னெட்டிக் மொமெண்டையும் we cannot find out. This is for the magnetic property. Now we pass on to the next one. The next property, third one. The third property is color formation. What is the third property? Color formation. Third one is color formation. See, most of the d block elements will be exhibiting the colored properties. Exhibiting what? Colored properties. இந்த மாதிரி colored properties வரதுக்கு காரணம் என்ன அப்படினு சொன்னா, because see, what is the third property? The third property is due to the formation of colored ions. Due to the formation of what? Colored ions அப்படினு சொல்றோம். இந்த colored ions first எடுத்த உடனே the reason is due to the presence of degenerative d orbitals. So d orbitals by nature it undergoes degeneracy. What is degenerative? அப்படினு சொன்னா, degenerative means already I taught you, again I am telling you, degeneracy அப்படினு சொன்னா 1 2 3 4 5 1 2 3 4 5 yes substance. So it splits like this. It splits like this, 2:3. இத மாதிரியான ரேஷியோல it gets splits. Lower energy level இது T2G, இது EG. So higher energy level. So like that it undergoes splitting. This is we are calling it as degenerative nature. So due to the presence of degenerative d orbitals. Then second point is presence of unpaired electrons. Due to the presence of what? Unpaired electrons. Then second one, due to the presence of vacant d orbitals. Vacant d orbitals. Due to the presence of the vacant d orbitals. So these are the two reasons. What are those reasons? First one is what? Presence of unpaired electrons. Other one is due to the presence of vacant d orbitals. Due to the presence of vacant d orbitals. So both the things. One is due to the presence of unpaired electrons. The other one is vacant d orbitals. That means what? So here I am taking two electrons, titanium and tin. So those two electrons will be here. So if the unpaired electrons will get shift. So if it is shift ஆகணும் அப்படினா, if it is going to be paired இருந்ததுன்னா, the paired electron தான் இருக்கும். Paired electron cannot go to the excited current. It remains in the ground state. Unpaired electrons இருந்தால it will get excited. அப்ப due to the presence of unpaired electrons. Vacant and d orbitals இருந்தா மட்டும் தான் excite ஆகக்கூடிய electrons can go and accommodate. If there is no vacant d orbitals, then obviously the electrons cannot go and accommodate. Correct? So therefore there should be presence of vacant d orbitals. And the main point is degenerative nature of the d d orbital. So d orbitals should undergo degeneracy. Degeneracy means what? Degeneracy means splitting. So it should undergo splitting. So a particular pona mattunda, then obviously it can be degenerated. So degenerated d orbitals. So now see, now explanation with examples. Now I am taking scandium 3 plus, titanium 4 plus, zinc 2 plus, and all these three elements are colorless. All these three elements are what? Colorless. So now see how this has an orgone configuration 3d1 and 4s2. And titanium when you take, so they are all, how it is? It tends to be colorless. It tends to be colorless, isn't it? Now we go for titanium. Titanium again, orgone configuration 3d2 then 4s2. Now coming to the zinc 2 plus, zinc will take. So zinc, what will happen now? That is orgone configuration, that is 3d10 4s2. The original configuration with the atomic number. What is this atomic number? 21. Here it is 22, and here it becomes 23. Correct? Now the original, when the zinc attains, when the scandium attains 3 plus oxidation state, what is the configuration? In the 2, this one electron should get removed. So as a result, it becomes what? 3d0, 4s0. Can you understand? So 3d is not. So this is orgone configuration. Scandium becomes what? 3 plus oxidation state. What is its electronic configuration? Nearest noble gas configuration is argon with 3d. No, one electron okay. That one electron has been lost. 4s with 2 electrons. Those 2 electrons also lost. So 4s not. 3d 0 and 4s 0. So that means what? There is no. What is the condition here actually? Prevailing condition. There is no unpaired electron. There is no unpaired electron to get exiled, isn't it? Now coming to this titanium. So what is oxidation state? I told you titanium is 3 plus oxidation state. So there is 4 plus oxidation state. Here titanium is 4 plus. Now what happens? Again orgone configuration. 4 plus means here 2, this 2. Both these 2's has to be removed. So automatically it becomes 3d0 and then it becomes 4s naught. 3d naught and 4s naught. Again there is no unpaired electrons. No unpaired electrons. Now coming to the zinc 2 plus. So here 4s are included, 2 electrons will be getting removed. Up 3d left 10 electrons. So this is what Zn 2 plus will be the oxidation state. So now what is the configuration? That is Ar, and then it becomes what? 4s naught. 4s becomes 0. Only will be having 3d latent. 4s becomes 0. Upper 3d latent. 3d latent implies what? It has completely filled one condition. There is no vacant d orbital. Completely filled d orbital, one condition. Then what is the other condition? Second condition is there is no unpaired electrons. All the electrons are paired. So it has only the paired electrons. You got 10 electrons, no? It is completely filled. There is no unpaired electron. This implies that scandium, due to the absence of unpaired electrons, titanium due to the absence of unpaired electrons, next zinc due to the completely filled configuration, no unpaired electrons, they tends to be colorless in nature. But remaining elements when you take, or remaining metals when you take, they are colorful. They possess the color. So they have the colored ion characteristic features because of its absorption and emission spectrum. Absorption and emission spectrum. அதோட complementary colors. எந்த color அது absorb பண்ணுதோ அந்த கலருக்கான complementary ஆன color it will starts to produce. So that is called as the colored ions. Okay. So in D block elements, you have to write a why D block elements form the colored ions. Now you have to write these 3 points and you have to explain these 3 examples under 3 marks. Okay, so this is formation of colored ion. And next point, total 3 points differentiate பண்ணி have given you. Now coming to the fourth characteristic property is catalytic property. Very for colored ions also very important. Catalytic property also very important. Now we will see the catalytic property. When you take the D block elements, it has a catalytic property. What is the catalyst? Catalyst is a chemical substance which has a tendency of enhancing the rate of the chemical reaction, but it will not take part in the chemical reaction. So what is the catalyst? Catalyst is a chemical substance that take part in what? That take part in the chemical reaction. That do not take part in the chemical reaction, but it enhances the rate of chemical reaction. Okay, now we will see. Now photo is catalytic property. What is this catalytic property? Why D block elements possess a catalytic property? D block elements possess the characteristic property because the first point is due to its variable oxidation state. That's a tendency of forming the variable oxidation. Variable oxidation state வந்தாவே எந்த எலிமெண்ட் கூட வேணாலும் போய் இது கம்பைன் பண்ண முடியும். ஒரு இன்டர்மீடியேட்டான ஒரு காம்பவுண்ட் அதால ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ண முடியும். டெம்பரரி பாண்ட் அதால ஃபார்ம் பண்ண முடியும். So due to its variable oxidation state. Second point, due to the formation of the interstitial compounds. Interstitial compounds. Due to the presence of what? Interstitial compounds. So what is the first point? The first point is because of its tendency to form what? Variable oxidation state. Second one is due to the formation of an interstitial compounds or complex formation. The third one is partially filled d orbital. Due to the partially filled d orbital. Interstitial compound or complex formation இருந்தாலும் சரி interstitial compounds form பண்ணாலும் சரி அது ஒரு intermediate compound ஆவே exist ஆகும். So complex formation, complex compounds னு வெச்சுக்கோங்க. Complex predominant. Then partially filled d orbitals. Partially filled d orbitals. See, partially filled d orbitals இல்ல complex formation இந்த ரெண்டு கேட்டகரியிலே will increase the surface area of the catalyst. Increase the surface area of the catalyst. When the surface area of the catalyst is getting increased, then it provides the lots of spaces for the reactant molecules to come and get attached. Clear? The surface area catalyst வந்து ரொம்ப பெருசா இருக்கு. When the surface area is getting widened, then obviously it enables the reactant molecules to come and attract on its surface to get fixed towards the surface of the catalyst. Then similarly, the active centers also will get increased. Active sites or active center, active sites. So increased active sites, or otherwise we can call it as increased active center. So active sites also will be getting increased, where the reactant molecules can go and form the temporary bond with that of the reactant molecules. Okay, now example. Catalytic properties are examples we will see. What are the examples? The first catalyst is iron. Isn't it? So it has a catalytic property. The iron has got the catalytic property. So in the manufacture of ammonia by Haber's process. Economically important. Then second one, B2 of a vanadium pentoxide vanadium helps in the manufacture of the sulfuric acid by contact process. Then third one, nickel as a catalyst helps in the hydrogenation of unsaturated hydrocarbon. Hydrogenation means addition of hydrogen towards unsaturated hydrocarbon, then it gets converted into a saturated. The bond will get reduced, isn't it? So unsaturated hydrocarbon. So nickel as a catalyst. So what is the example? Iron as a catalyst you can write. Then vanadium pentoxide. Then similarly nickel as a catalyst. Then one more example, familiar example, that is platinum as a catalyst, which is widely used in the manufacture of nitric acid by means of Oswald's process. By what? By Oswald's process. By Oswald's process. This is what catalytic property. So this is what colored ion formation. So 4 properties. What is the first property we have studied? Oxidation state, variable oxidation state. Second property is what? Oxidation state property another colored ion. Magnetic property. Third one is colored ion and fourth one is catalytic property. So 4 properties we have studied. Next one is the formation of complex. Next one is what? The formation of complexes. That also we will see now. Fifth property, complex formation. So complex formation happening, isn't it? The complex formation. So now the fifth property is what is this complex formation actually? See, complex formation is due to the small size of an atom. Second one, high nuclear charge. Partially filled or vacant d orbital. These are 3 reasons. So we'll go for its explanation actually. We'll go for its explanation. What is that explanation? The size of the atom I told you. What is that size of the atom says? The size of the atom, see, if this is nucleus and this is n-1 d subshell. This is what we are calling it as what? Now is a d orbital. Next to that what we have? F. It is like this. D is there and F orbital is there. Now the incoming electrons will be getting, this is S actually, isn't it? Now incoming electrons will be getting added here only. Penultimate shell D S. So n-1 d, the incoming electrons will be getting added. Electrons will be getting added. Electrons increase the penultimate shell is very closer to the nucleus. So automatically there will be the increased nuclear charge. The size of increased nuclear charge electrons attract there will be an inward pull of an orbit. So inward pull low screening constant, imperfect shielding effect, the size will automatically get constricted. So there is a small size. And then what? Higher nuclear charge, so diffuse structure, and the vacant d orbital should be there. Now what is this complex formation? Complex formation is nothing but attracting, that is accepting or attracting the lone pair of electrons. Okay, so attracting the lone pair of electrons. Lone pair of electrons? Attracting the lone pair of electrons from the anion or otherwise from the neutral molecule or otherwise from the neutral substance or attracting the lone pair of electrons from the anion or otherwise from the neutral molecule. So that is called as what? Complex formation. Up is the anion or the neutral molecule, so I can call it as what? I can call it as a ligand. What additional compounds we have studied? They are considered as a ligand. So these ligands will donate what? These ligands will donate its pair of electrons to the metal. To the metal. அப்ப அந்த எலக்ட்ரானை அக்செப்ட் பண்ணனும் அப்படினா சைஸ் மோலா இருக்கும் நியூக்ளியர் சார்ஜ் superior, then only the nuclear charge ங்கிறது என்னது positive attraction, electrons ங்கிறது என்னது negative, isn't it? Electrons are negative and this plus அப்படிங்கிறது protons which is present in the nucleus. அப்ப plus go minus go, there will be electrostatic force of attraction. அப்ப force of attraction will be there. When there is a force of attraction, automatically it can attract the electron. வந்திருக்கக்கூடிய எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் அட்ராக்ட் பண்ணி அந்த வெச்சிக்கிறதுக்கு ஒரு ஸ்பேஸ் வேணும், that is the vacant d orbitals. So that is the complex formation. So complex formation, the reasons, what are the reasons? One is small size of the atom, the other one is higher nuclear charge, the other one we are calling as the vacant d orbital. Other one is due to the presence of what? Vacant d orbital. Small size, nuclear charge is directly proportional to the atomic radius. Whenever the nuclear charge is high, the atomic radius constricts. The radius of the atom will goes on decreases. Next one is what? The vacant d orbitals. In order to accommodate the incoming electron, there should be a space. So the d orbital should be vacant enough to attract and keep water. The vacant d orbital. So attracting the lone pair of electrons from the anion or the neutral molecule is the role of the sentimental atom or an ion on the transition network to form the complex. So example, what is the example we can write? We can take copper hexamet, cobalt, isn't it? So these are some of the examples. So now you see here what's happening. Actually, this NH3 is nothing but it is a ligand. Amine is a ligand. Cyano negative ligand. So this ligand is giving away its electron pair to the central metal atom or an ion. So thereby the size எப்படி இருக்கணும்? Smaller இருக்கணும், higher nuclear charge இருக்கணும், then only it can attract all the electrons and it should have vacant d orbitals in order to accommodate those 6 electrons in its space. So this is called as what? Complex formation. The fifth point. Now coming to the sixth point. So our fifth point also I told you reasons for that, explanation with examples also. These are the examples. Now the fifth one is interstitial compound formation. What is the sixth point? Interstitial compounds. Interstitial compound formation. What is the next one? Interstitial compound formation. அப்படின்னு சொல்றோம். What is this interstitial compound formation? It is due to the small size. It is due to the small size and the intercellular or interstitial spaces getting attracted by the smaller atoms like carbon, nitrogen and hydrogen, isn't it? So interstitial compound formation is due to the smaller size. What is that actually interstitial compound formation? See, now I have given you one example. Tungsten with carbon. Tungsten with carbon I have given you an example, isn't it? Now the interstitial space is nothing but this is the interstitial space. Isn't it? Here you can see and here you can see this is and this is an interstitial. This is an interstitial. This is an interstitial space. Now I am taking the tungsten element. So this is what the interstitial space. That interstitial space is being occupied by the carbon atom. What is this carbon atom? Which is the smaller atom. In the this is a crystal structure, lattice structure, crystal structure, solid structure. Yeah, lattice structure, crystal known as structure. 3D structure, will lattice structure. We are telling. So W is சொல்றோம். W என்னது? W is W is the symbol of tungsten. It is getting filled with the interstitial spaces are getting occupied by the smaller atoms like carbon. Isn't it? It's carbon. Not only by carbon, but also it can be filled with nitrogen as well as by the hydrogen. And this one disadvantage is that this leads to non-stoichiometric compounds. Formation of non-metric solid substances. Non-stoichiometric solid substances. This leads to the formation of what? Non-stoichiometric solid substances. Non-stoichiometric solid substances. This is about the interstitial compounds. Interstitial compound formation. The next one is what we have is the alloy formation. So what is that alloy formation? That is also very simple. 7th point is over. Now 8th point. Let me write here only. Oh, this is 7th. 6th is interstitial compound. 7th is alloy formation. This alloy formation is also due to the small size of the atom. So here actually one transition metal getting replaced by another transition metal, but it has only one condition. The one condition is the two metals should have similar size. Should have what? It should have the similar size. It should have similar size. So that means what is the structure? We'll see now. The structure. How we have to draw the structure? For the first, we must know what is an alloy. Alloy is nothing but it is a blend of metals. Blend means what? Mixture. Isn't it? Blend of metals, which is a blend of metals. What is an alloy? Alloy is nothing but it is a blend of metals. Alloys are called as blend of metals, which are prepared by mixing of other metals in a proportion. This is called as what? We are calling it as an alloy. Actually here what's the condition is, now see the structure. This is how the structure is, isn't it? Now structure I am drawing. So in the structure, so this is completely copper. Everything is copper. Now this copper is getting, this is what? This is copper. Yellow color is copper. Now in that copper, I am removing one copper, the lattice crystal of copper. I am removing the copper and I am replacing it with the zinc. Then this is called as alloys of copper and zinc, which we are calling as a bronze. This is because this copper and the zinc will not be having much differences in their ionic radii or atomic radii. That means this copper when you take, it will be having 100 picometer radius and zinc will be having 85 picometer radius. So what is the difference then? The difference in the radius will be 15 picometer metallic radius will be the difference. So this is not a much difference. So automatically the copper and zinc having more or less approximately similar radius, similar size. So therefore the copper can be replaced by the zinc. So that is why this alloy is considered to be the substitutional metallic substance. It is called as what? Substitutional metallic substance. It is called as substitutional metallic substance. So this is for the alloy formation, and I told you the complex formation. So these 7 properties you must keep it in mind thoroughly with its explanation and the example. 100 out of 100% from these 7 points you will be getting one question, either in 2 marks or otherwise in 3 marks, and ensure that you are getting thorough with these 7 properties, which is very important for your examination. Understand? So D block elements and F block elements are over, and before to that I have taught you atomic radius and the ionization energy. That is also easy, which I have taught you previously, and see to that you are preparing well. And this chapter is over. Okay, then we will continue with the other chapters related to this chapter. We will be giving you the worksheets, and see to that you are completing the worksheets on time and you are submitting also. We will be giving you the day and venue and where you have to submit and when. So depending on that, see to that you are submitting. Understand? Your D block elements and F block elements chapter are over. Thank you very much.